Hey folks, welcome to Market Technical Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Monday, November 16th, 2009. Well, folks, the markets are surging again today, and why is that? Certainly you should be able to tell by now. It is because of a very, very weak dollar once again. As the dollar continues to roll over and come down, the markets are lifted up beautifully like floating on a cloud, and that is what we're seeing today, folks. Really, Monday coming in this morning, even before we got any economic news out this morning, you had the markets floating higher pre-market overnight on the fact that the dollar was coming down. When the dollar comes down, commodity prices surge. When commodity prices surge, the markets float up even more so. You can take a look at ExxonMobil today. One of the big winners is ExxonMobil, up over $2 on the day. That's a huge move for that stock. Now, ExxonMobil's pretty much the biggest company out there, and it is up $2. That's a huge move for a company that size alone, and that just gives you one idea. Take a look at Chevron today, up $1.25. U.S. Steel up $2.20. AK Steel up $1.44. You name it, folks, all around, all commodity stocks are surging. Now, the interesting thing about it is, again, financials are not really leading the pack at all. In fact, they're just slightly higher on the day. For instance, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, even though the Dow is up 145 points today, the NASDAQ up 32.5, and the S&P 500 up 18, which is really 1.5% across the board. The Goldman Sachs is only up $1.66. That's a very minor move for a $178 stock. And again, you can take a look at other stocks like take a look at J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan having a decent day, but only up 55 cents on the day. And again, you can see that it's generally commodities. The weak dollar pushing the market up. It's what we call a reinflation rally. A reinflation rally is exactly what this market's been in basically since March, the beginning of March, when we started to turn up. It's been a decrease in the dollar's value as the dollar has topped out in March and come right back down and continues to come down. The markets have floated up. Well, that's what, again, is called a reinflation rally, which, again, is basically a utilization of the weaker dollar policy by the Federal Reserve and the Treasury to push the markets up. Now, the interesting thing was we got some comments out from Bernanke just a little while ago, and he came out and basically tried to say, oh, yeah, the markets are doing okay. We don't want the dollar to really drop that much. And he tried to pump up the dollar. And initially what you saw here, as he said that, the markets quickly dropped. But again, if you guys remember, and this goes along with everyone, whether you had a teacher in your history or whatnot, when someone says something, they always say, do what I do, not what I say, something like that. You have to really know at this point that the market says, all right, Bernanke could say that he just got wings and can fly around the moon. No one's going to believe him. You know what I'm saying? The markets know, and the weak dollar policy that the Treasury and the Obama administration has is they decrease your overall buying power out there with the Federal Reserve's help. And again, don't think that that's not happening. Just since March alone, each dollar that you hold in your hand can buy less than it could just 8 months ago in March and so forth. So remember that, folks. Very important to understand that the value of the dollar continues to decrease. And listen, right now, interestingly enough, it's causing the markets to reinflate, but the long-term problems of that are inflation, buying power, meaning that all of us are going to have to work a lot harder just to make the same amount ends meet put on the table. Obviously, we're not seeing any job recovery yet in this market. All these things are tied to the weaker dollar policy. Granted, it gets the markets up, but again, in general, that's helping the Goldman Sachs of the world, the J.P. Morgans, Morgan Stanley, and the rest of these big boys out there, at least from the trading side perspective of that. So again, know it and understand it, what's going on. Now, the markets, again, as Bernanke made those positive comments about the dollar, started to sell off, and then they realized, hey, wait a minute, Bernanke said this every time he comes on TV, oh, we don't want the dollar to weaken, blah, 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 blah. And sure enough, then the market said, oh, well, we'll just go back up because the dollar started to fall again. So what happened here, you actually saw the dollar strengthening, and that's what caused the market to drop, and then the dollar just bounced right back. I mean, they just said, you know what, Bernanke, you've said this like 5 zillion times. No one really pays attention to you anymore in regards to your dollar policy. So there you have it, guys. Markets are holding up. You do have a little bit of resistance up here. I just want to draw this line in. See this line right here? You can basically see you hit it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and what you want to see is do we break out above it. So this has really been a little bit of a top on the market right around 111.50. That was mentioned in the chat room as being a key level today, and you can continue to see it trading just on this level. If you break through this level, you may go to 112. 112 will be a very key level as well. A couple other odds and ends on the charts today. I want to show you the research in motion call that went out today. Beautiful little bounce off a double bottom earlier here, and you can see it right here. Came right down here for a scalp play. We noted that it was a double bottom for Friday. In addition, on the 60-minute chart, it pierced beautifully on the 50 moving average, and sure enough, that utilized, see that long tail? called along right there. A few people in the chat room scalped that beautifully right up, and you can see that scalp. There were a few other scalps in the room today. Overall, the market's been trending sideways for most of the day, waiting for Bernanke, and now trading sideways again. Some people made a little money on FAZ buying it at when the markets were at the highs, and now they fell back on Bernanke's statements, able to sell that for a nice little profit as well. So there's been some good trading room profits today. Nothing crazy though overall, as the market continues to kind of trade in this range, and you can see we're just above that trend line there. You want to see this 111.50 level, which is right here. You want to see whether or not we get above it, and that's right at this line. You see 111.48 right now is where we're at, but again, 111.50 should be a little minor resistance. It was major before, as you can see, every hit, and then you had a nice pullback over it. There's your beautiful pullback. But the more you hit it, the weaker it becomes. So at any point now, it may break down a little bit. Now, going forward, what are you looking for? Because technically, we broke above a level. So we're going to have to watch and analyze tonight what that means in the Research Center video. Again, most of you guys that are Research Center guys know we need to see certain things happen tomorrow as well, whether or not it dictates. And then we'll obviously isolate some new major levels where the next level for you to look for some shorting opportunities or a scalping opportunity is going to be. So for a swing trade short and so forth, we'll cover that all in the nightly video tonight. Again, we'll see where this market ends today, but right now it's all about the dollar, folks. Take a look at the UUP. Let's take a look right here, and you can see here's your UUP gapping down, trading lower. That pushed the markets up, trading sideways into Bernanke. Then the dollar gets a bounce right here as Bernanke makes those comments, and then everyone says, hey, oh, he's always lying. He always says that, and then the market comes right back in. So, and right there, right back down, and it goes, and there you are, basically at the lows of the day on the dollar again, and we are approaching kind of new lows, or right in that essence of lows, 15, 16-month lows at this point on the overall market scene, okay? So that's where we are right now, folks. Again, we'll keep an eye on Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, interesting here, guys. Look at this resistance level on Goldman. 1, 2, 3. Look at how you could play that almost every time. Now, the question is, again, it kind of looks like the market, right? That upper resistance, which on the market on the SPY is 111.50. Here on Goldman Sachs, you have it at really 178.50 to 178.75. And if you get above that, you could make a move upwards of right here at 179. Then obviously you'll have another move possibly to 179.60, and then possibly all the way above 180 on the charts. And those are your next levels to watch on an intraday basis. But you basically have a triangle here. For those of you that like triangles, take a look. Just connect these lows. There it is. So you have a triangle right there, as you can see, and again, it's a matter of which ways they're going to break out on these charts, and we'll have to continue to monitor that. Now, again, guys, join the Research Center. It's very important you're in there. I just posted actually a new monthly chart of a ETF or a key chart on the Hot Charts and Alerts today. It's actually a masterful one, and based off the monthly should tell us there's a significant move coming in that chart post over the next month or so based on the monthly chart. Very important to understand that. You have to get the Hot Charts and Alerts. That's included in the Research Center, so anything you sign up for in the Research Center, it comes with everything included in the Research Center. You'll have access. Obviously, the chat room, for those of you that have a little hour during the day, are great scalping opportunities. You always want to just pop in, try to learn about the markets, understand about the markets, and see where it goes. All right, folks, that's all for today. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.